One attitude that you will see will greatly help you in life. It is an attitude to bring you benefit in every single aspect of life. Is that whatever your motive is, whatever your goal is, whatever you really are trying to get out of anything, whatever you are working towards, cultivating an attitude that everything that is happening is an unfolding to that mental objective. So obviously in your physical endeavors, anything that you want out of life, the physical well-being, the general financial well-being in your relationships, take everything that is happening on a day-to-day basis as the unfolding of that well-being. Even if your motive is spiritual, if you want greater spiritual understanding, then consider everything also as an unfolding of that greater spiritual understanding. One thing that this does is that it gets you out of the state of constantly wanting and expecting and needing and yearning for something else other than what is right now. And it makes you non-reactive. Because right now, the mind is expecting always something. Mind is wanting something always. And based on what's happening, it's labeling this, okay, this is good for this wanting. This is going to allow me to have what I want. Or this is going against what I want. It's contradicting it. And mind becomes very reactive and very attached to what's happening. So this frees the mind up from that constant worry and need to control, bringing you in a state of balance. And here's the funny part about this approach. When you start to cultivate this attitude that everything that is happening is the unfoldment of where you would like to be headed personally and spiritually. Even though when we talk about spiritual goals, it's hard to talk about something as a progression, right? But when we're talking in these terms, it's relevant. So when you cultivate this attitude, you start to see that it is this way. And the only way to see that everything is an unfolding towards your greatest benefit is to cultivate this attitude. But when I say to you, cultivate that attitude, you say, but Sunny, where's the proof? How can I trust? How can I believe that all that is unfolding, all that is happening in my life, even the negative things, are beneficial for me? They're leading to a greater growth, greater benefit for my overall well-being. Here's the little part where you do need that initial bit of faith. Because without faith, you can never take a single step forward. Without faith, you will allow your current belief systems, which you have gained a lot of proof for, because life will give you proof of anything you seek for. So in that way, without faith for something or faith in something new, you will allow your current belief systems to dominate. And you will remain imprisoned within them. And all you will ever see is proof of your own belief system again and again and again. Which will further make you be like, why would I believe anything else? This is the truth. However, this is what you need to understand, that your experience of life is happening within you, within the mind. And so the only way to have it be that way, where everything that is happening, even the littlest bit of an argument or an emotional conflict or an interpersonal conflict or a situational conflict, all is moving you towards what is ultimately beneficial for you. The only way to see that is to first cultivate this attitude. Have faith and remain persistent with this attitude until it becomes your truth, until it becomes clearly seen in your own experience, to where you don't have to remind yourself of this at all. Instead, it is your experience. Just like right now, your experience of being a man or a woman, You don't have to keep reminding yourself you're a man or a woman. It's just your experience. And see what this does. This allows you to see the bigger picture always, helping you become completely non-reactive. Right now, the mind has such a great need to control. Even the spiritual process, it tries to control. Even the spiritual process, it has so many expectations of what's supposed to happen at this time, and then at that time. How should I be feeling? How should I be thinking? What I should be knowing, understanding. So this attitude that we're talking about cultivating gets rid of all that nonsense, all that psychological stuff that creates friction in your path, which creates friction in your experience. It puts you ultimately in a place of balance, a place of clarity, from where this truth can be recognized, that all experience is simply a projection, is your own projection. And all is serving you. It is a reflection rather than a reality outside of you, which needs to be feared. And in this way, you are completely safe. From the mind's point of view, you always need to be protected and guarded from some danger that looms right around the corner. Always. Different types of dangers. But in this way, you are completely safe. You are life itself. You're no longer even limiting yourself to just this person, but instead the entire unfoldment, the entire manifestation in its working. You are that. You're no longer registering these little events and giving them such great significance and carrying on the memory and making it into a problem. You see, all these are very, very mental things. But stepping out of this mental prison requires trust. It requires faith, at least to implement it. Use these things as a working hypothesis. You know, once I came across this term, working hypothesis, I loved it because that's exactly what these teachings are. Yes, you need to trust a little bit because, as I said earlier, without trust, without faith, you will not even take a single step forward. But you don't need to outright just believe in what I'm saying. Use it as a working hypothesis. Why? Because clearly you're watching this video because what your current mental ways are and what you are currently, what you have been currently doing is not really working. You want something better. You want something more effective. You don't want to just be in a constant chase, feeling exhausted, being unhappy. And what we discuss on this channel helps your experience come back to balance. It helps your experience gain that aspect of harmony, which the mind always seeks to create by doing. But harmony is never a result of doing. It is a result of your understanding of yourself and life here and now. So that is why the main teaching on this channel is not even ultimately about changing your experience and making your experience harmonious. That is a pleasant side effect of the work that we do, which is to understand ourselves, which is to understand what life is. Who am I? And this deeper, bigger inquiry puts all these little petty things like your relationships, your job, your business, your life purpose, all these petty little things into perspective. When all your life is just these little petty things, then they become the greatest things in the world. They become your gods, and you lose yourself in them. The moment you pick up a greater inquiry, the moment you start asking the bigger questions and all these things fade into the distance, now they start taking care of themselves. Previously, you were so focused on the details that the details became your biggest problems. Now you are concerned with something far greater. No longer just addicted to the temporary appearances in consciousness. So now the temporary appearances in consciousness, take care of themselves through the natural intelligence imbued within it. The same intelligence that keeps your heart beating, the same intelligence which keeps the sun rising. That intelligence is life. And through the fabric of that intelligence, also all your circumstances are moving, are flashing in and out of existence. So this attitude that we speak of today, to just affirm and understand over time, through practice, through implementation, that all is working for not only this person's greatest benefit, but the greater benefit of all. From this place, how can you not be in acceptance? From this place, how can you suffer? From this place, you see you're like a completely empty vessel, open for understanding, open to receiving that which even the mind is working so hard to create and achieve. And it is ultimately much more peaceful, much more effortless than the approach that you currently may be employing. And it's comfortable, so you think, it's better. Or you feel like you're losing something to let go of that approach. Is it really losing? Is it really worth clinging on to something that you can lose? Is it really worth clinging on to something that doesn't work? Don't you want to replace what doesn't work with what does work? And see that leap, going from this branch of the tree to the next branch, it requires that bit of faith where you let go of this branch before you catch on to this branch. Because until you are on this branch, you will not be able to reach this branch. You need to take that leap of faith and then catch this one. So don't get caught up in these examples and the words. They're pointing to something. Inwardly, you do know what I need to do, what I am being urged to pursue, what I am being urged to let go of, internally and externally. So act on that and cultivate this mindset. Watch this video again if you have to, multiple times, to deeply understand what is being said, and then implement it to the best of your ability. Now, lastly, if this is something that you need help with, to further deepen your understanding of this teaching, I have some resources available in the description box below. I have a couple of free classes on self-inquiry, letting go, and you could also, if you need my personal consistent support and a support of a community, you can also look into my Higher Consciousness Shift program. So please take advantage of those resources and implement what you hear in this video. I'll see you next time.